Now, the unstable nature of the price of gold on the world market has compelled several mining companies in Ghana and other parts of the world to take very difficult decisions. As many conventional mining companies work hard to cut back on the cost of producing gold, the hard work and creativity of a young female miner at the Wassa mines of a Golden Star Resources is saving the mining company several thousands of dollars a month by resharpening drill bits.
Alberta Stevens has been sharpening bits for 5 years. It's a job she took after she got sick. The ailment meant that she could not go underground again, so managers of the mine reassigned her to do this. But one day whilst at work, a thought dropped in her mind to collect old drill bits and resharpen them to support the company's cost-cutting program. She is poised to excel in this environment dominated by men.
It is say you use ballistic cap man na ba life no. You be use it 3 times. Instead of saying you be kwaji new one. You say you use another 3 no. You see you be use spherical na you to ballistic 3 times. So I say the kwaji new one na who use it. You be use 3 times and say na scrub no.
Alberta is happy with the innovation she has brought to the mines. It is a job that requires an eye for details, ensuring that the bits are cut in the accurate size and shape to ensure the safe and efficient mining of the ore.
The cost a year saving will be $20,000. They are encouraging what you will say. So bad here, this is we are nurse and I say teacher and I say but about where minds there. A very good.
The underground mines manager here at Wassa, Isaac Asiedo, is impressed with the achievement made by Stevens and other women who work in the mines.
With their performance in regards to the hard environment and on all that sort of thing, the women are doing a very fantastic job. Don't forget this fact that if it comes to strength, even though men are seen to be stronger, women, you don't see them being aggressive, but they are very, very stronger than us. That's the nature of the system. So they know what they are doing. They are strong enough to withstand whatever pressures that the men are withstanding. And they are competing, I would say they are competing very, very favorably with them.
Management of Golden Star Resources have awarded Stevens for her remarkable innovation, creativity, and hard work. Miss Alberta Stevens is another shining example that, given the chance, a lot of women can do great exploits, achieving milestones otherwise assumed to be the preserve of men. The idea to resharpen scrapped spherical bits into ballistic bits reduced the average monthly stores issues of about 44 new bits to 10 in 2 months. This has helped to save an initial cost of $18,000 in direct operating costs of the mine.
So I've got the producer of this particular documentary, No Barriers, Kuku Wusu in studio, and I've got Boatema Hammond. She's Corporate Affairs Coordinator at Golden Star Resources. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm keeping well.
And you, Kweku?
I'm fantastic.
All right, great. Let me first start with you, Kweku. What inspired this documentary?
So a number of months or years ago, I went to Golden Star to do a story. And then whilst I walked the underground tunnels, I saw a woman. And then I saw another one. And I asked, so do women work here? And they said, yeah, we work here. And we are the only 2 women here in this underground operation. I said, wow. I had a chance to interview them for another project. But as I got back on the surface, I was like, really, this must be difficult for a woman to do, and how do they function at home as wives, and how would, for instance, if a lady like you, for instance, you went for a party and somebody met you and she asked you, what do you do? You say, oh, I'm a broadcaster. That sits well with people. If they asked you, what do you do? You said, I'm a miner. They will just take a step backwards. What kind of mining do you do?
Exactly.
He said, oh, I go underground. How deep? He says, oh, about 5 kilometers deep. And everybody will be awed by that nature.
And that's obviously because of stereotyping, and that's one of the major things that your documentary seeks to deal with.
So this documentary seeks to address the gender stereotyping and gender roles that we assign to people, because it shouldn't be so.
Let me come to Boatema Hammond, because not only are we highlighting women who are doing things that were usually the preserve of men, even at the physical level, I mean going underground to man, we also have women at, you know, corporate management levels, and you're one of them. Watching this documentary, seeing your colleagues do what they do, how does that make you feel?
I thought the documentary was a very good one when it was aired, and it made me feel good because women in corporate and in management levels is nothing new, but women going underground, that is something unique. So it made me happy to see the documentary, and then the purpose that the documentary sought to achieve. I think it would achieve that, especially the parts about where it showed the domestic aspects of the women as well. They have kids, they are married, we party together on site. So they basically have very normal lives, and then their job requires them to do that. So I was happy that it made it as normal as possible, that it's possible to have all the nice things, all the pretty things, do your nails, do your hair, and still go underground. So
help us understand the challenge, you know, getting to this point, because like Kweku pointed out, there are only 2 of them. At least that's a good way to start.
In the Pristia
in the Pristia installation.
But there are a number of them in the
But even comparatively to their male counterparts, there are quite few women. And so tell us the journey to this point, how even for Golden Star Resources, you know, the beginning, deciding to recruit women and all.
I can talk for when I joined the mining industry, which hasn't been too long, about 5 or 6 years now. But I hear the situation has greatly improved. And with documentaries like this, with examples in the communities, because 2 of the ladies that were interviewed from Pristia Underground, they grew up in the mining setting. They have brothers and family members who had gone into mining. So the numbers have increased, even though in the very technical fields it still remains small. The number of women there have increased. I mean, not in proportion to the number of males there, but significantly over the years. It keeps on increasing, and that's a good thing. It can only get better with time.
I'll come back to ask you what your personal vision is, working in what you hope to see with women working in the mining sector with regards to going underground and doing the drilling and hard physical work. But Kweku, let me ask you, I'm sure going into this documentary you had a certain expectation. Tell me your mindset going in and after.
Okay, so when you go underground, it is hot, it is dark, it's very uncomfortable. Men would normally have it a bit easier because mining is a difficult job. Look, and these women are walking several kilometers underground. In the Pristia installation, for instance, in the Wasa installation, they are using the ramp system, so they sit in cars. But even the sight of the rocks as they stare at you, and the kind of machinery you see, one tire of a vehicle is twice your height. When we were editing the documentary, one of the people who came around and saw the scenes said, so you went there? I said, yes. So with 3 cameramen, I said, with that one. I said, really? Me I come and go.
Okay, that's even a man. I wouldn't have gone if I wouldn't have gone.
So I went deep there, came up with, because personally, I have not been a strong believer in this what women can do, men can do thing.
Okay, so you've changed your mind.
But it helped me change my mind to a large extent.
Okay, I'm glad. So the documentary dealt with you as a personal person. Okay, I mean, as a person and on a personal level before it's hitting people. So what do you hope this documentary will achieve?
Just as it changed me, I am hoping that a small girl in the university, or in these days university girls are not small girls, so I apologize. In
young women
in primary school or in secondary school would also repent, and have a renewed view of life, that indeed whatever they set out to do, it will not distill the womanhood out of them. They will still be women. They can have children. I remember somebody also said, you're doing a story about women in mining. And then he used a Ghana word. I don't know what it means. I cannot really pronounce it. Where he said, then this woman must be kankwe. Okay. I don't know what that is. Okay. But I presume that he meant that they will be ugly and untidy or hard.
You know,
and then I said, come along, come and see these videos of these women I found there. And he was like, wow, these are
so we are really breaking stereotypes.
So we need to crush these stereotypes and like the phrase I like to use the most, break through the glass ceiling.
All right, break through the glass ceiling indeed. What, Muhammad, what do you hope to see even as you work with this woman? Like you say, you party with them. I'm sure you have a certain outlook. And you know, even when we talk about women voting, there are names that we mention from the West, women who pioneered in politics and all. What do we hope to see in the next 5 to 10 years with women mining here in Ghana?
Personally, what I hope to see is women asking for more. And not just asking in a vacuum, like appealing for help or whatever, but asking, after breaking the barriers, just asking for things that will make you comfortable in the role that you are in. It's male-dominated, and the males are not coming from a bad place. It's just male-dominated, so a lot of things are done without women at the back of their minds, and it's not from a bad place. It's just the way the system is taking into consideration the majority of the people. So with women who find themselves in such places, my advice has always been, ask for whatever you want to make you comfortable in that setting that you are in. And then to the males in such industries as well, to ask the women, because half of the time they are not coming from a bad place. And I've lived on sites. I mean, I'm not just corporate affairs sitting in Accra. I've actually lived on the mine site. That's how come I know these women well. And the men are actually nice to you, just that if you do not ask, they don't know what you want. And if they don't ask you, you cannot assume for me what you think as a woman I would like. Just ask me. And then if I also have something, I'll ask you. Once we're able to break those small things, it's as good a place to be employed as any. It's as good a place to be employed.
Trust me, and now I would love to experience going down there. I can imagine. The way you're looking at me, it's almost to say, don't try it. But let's tell viewers about what to expect. We know that the documentary, the first part, was aired yesterday.
No, it's just one
part. So it was aired yesterday.
Everything.
And then it will be aired again today.
Tonight.
So if you missed it, please do make a date. You can catch us live on Facebook. That's where I watched it. Live on Facebook on our page, JoyNews on TV. You can also watch it on my Joy Online TV on YouTube. Is No Barriers. And that's our documentary seeking to address issues of stereotyping and also classifying jobs according to genders. Do you want to add something?
But what was telling me something before we came on set about the fact that, you see, some women would think that because mining is an enclave and you have children and you may be thinking about which schools to attend. They had some interventions that maybe she would.
Oh wow!
So when I was employed by my company, by Golden Star, I went on site, and like I was saying, there are a couple of ladies around, and as fate would have it, we all had children around the same ages, so 2 and then below. And like I'm saying, the company didn't have any facility to address that. There was a preschool and a proper school in town, but there was nothing like that on site. So as a firm believer of asking for exactly what you want, a group of friends of like women working there in the mines, we put together a proposal to management about helping us to set up a daycare center on site. And not only did we just go and ask in a vacuum, we actually tabulated it, made an appointment to see the general manager. He was very gracious enough. He met us. We made a full-blown presentation to him about how this will help us, tied it into employee retention and all the benefits that the company stood to gain from something like that. And we did establish a nursery school. Okay. And it was very involving that we had expatriates volunteering, people had their families volunteering anytime. And then the good thing is when I go to work, I also have the peace of mind to work, knowing that after a 2 minutes drive, I can go see my 2-year-old daughter. So these are some of the things, practical examples about asking and then getting what you want.
I think that's a good way to end it. Thank you so much. Boatema Hammond is Corporate Affairs Coordinator of Golden Star Resources, and my colleague Kuku Owusu-Pepra, who produced the documentary No Barriers. Do make a date this evening here on the Joy News channel as we bring you that documentary focusing on women working in the mining sector.